AEW Double or Nothing is in the books. MJF returns. Monet cashes in and is money. The Elite take out Team AEW. Frankie Frezko joins me, and we break down AEW Double or Nothing next, right here on the Squared Circle Digest. All right, we bring it in. It is AEW Double or Nothing in the books. I am Sean Stanley. He is the great Frankie Frezko, and he's joining me here on the recording, of course, because we're breaking down AEW. It's the only time he joins me, Mr. AEW himself. Frankie, how are we doing this morning?
Sir, as you could tell, I'm rocking the MJF scarf, right?
Yes.
So
I see that, but he's not rocking it anymore.
I'll rock it for him. He gave it to me.
There you go, man. All right, let's dive into AEW Double or Nothing. Again, another great marathon by Tony Khan and AEW. Over 4.5 hours of good wrestling action.
Wait. Great wrestling.
Oh, no. I will say good because there were some lulls at the beginning. And then, again, the in-ring action, fantastic. But there were some lulls and some matches that, to me, bro, make it 3.5 hours. Cut a couple of them out. That's why it's good.
I don't say it that way. I actually thought that this was the first time that they had me invested all 4.5 hours. I actually saw the card very, very good.
That's the thing I love about pro wrestling. Everybody sees everything differently. Then the one thing that I do hate about it is, so I posted yesterday because I learned how to actually do the thread thing correctly on X, where like I post all my comments under one. So if you go to one, you can see how all my comments of how I kind of interacted during the pay-per-view. I was always terrible at that. I would always, for some reason, like reply under one or whatever. But I finally figured it out. And now you can go to my X account at Sean_Stanley11. So I send out a thing and I say, paraphrasing here because I don't have it right in front of me, but pretty much Mercedes Moné captures the TBS title. Now, all three of the big signings, because Will Ospreay had captured the title before, are now champions in AEW. That's all I said. All I said, Frankie Frezko. That is it. That is it. Somebody had to get on their horse. And again, they only had 162 followers, but it is what it is.
It wasn't me.
It was not Frankie Frezko, but they did on. And the first thing out is, they wouldn't have won titles in WWE.
Oh, my God.
Where the hell did I say anything about WWE? Like my point was that they had the three big signings, Okada, Ospreay, and Moné. And now, within the, 3 months since they've been signed, they are now all champions within the company. That's all I was saying. I wish everybody would just settle down and enjoy the ride that we're on with both companies. Look, I can point out things wrong with AEW. I can point out things wrong with WWE. I can point out good things with AEW, and I can point out good things with WWE. Do I lean toward one more than the other? I would 100% say yes, because I've grown up on WWE and the storytelling aspect. I don't believe AEW does that enough. That is where my disconnect with AEW is. But I will say this. Every pay-per-view, AEW delivers. They knock it out of the park. Now, are there things on there that I will say, yes. But there's tons of things on WWE pay-per-views where I'd go, as well. But I just don't understand where it's like the tribal, like, I'm AEW, I'm WWE. Why can't we just be pro wrestling fans and enjoy the hell out of what we have? Again, I grew up in the attitude. I went through the Attitude Era. I wish I wouldn't have taken those 5-6 years for granted, because it was another, 10, 11, 12, 15 years before we got anything back that was close to it. And actually, it might be closer to 20. So just enjoy what we're getting. from both companies. Yes, there's good, there's bad. Debate it, but be respectful about it. You don't have to just run down the other company because you're the other, you favor the other. That's what I don't understand. Why do we have to run one down to make the other better?
Well, this was a situation that doesn't usually happen often. And I know yesterday we were going here and there a couple times, you and me on X,
Yeah.
and I did compare WWE to AEW.
That's not a problem though. That's not. I
But
don't
hold on,
mind
hold
comparing.
on.
Go ahead.
But
Go ahead. Go ahead.
but I got a response from you, and you're like the same kind of same response what you're saying now. Why can't we just enjoy the wrestling? And in this particular case, I responded back and I told you I was like, look, this is different because this is the first in a while that they both have back to back live events. Saturday WWE, Sunday AEW. On top of that, we're not I wasn't trying to bash one or the other because I really did enjoy both of the shows. I just said one was better than the other, and I wanted to clarify that. And I did. I think I did that when I replied back to you, is that, there wasn't bad wrestling. It's just this weekend I preferred AEW more than WWE. And I kind of told you this last week during the Squared Circle Digest. I said I am looking forward to the AEW pay-per-view more than the WWE pay-per-view because I felt that they were investing more. And it started since Dynamite because you saw what they were doing. It wasn't a regular Dynamite. They were putting more emphasis on a lot of stuff. So I said, if they're going this hard on Dynamite, I can't wait to see what they go for. Obviously, Double or Nothing.
Yeah, no, and again, and we'll discuss more of this. Also, join us every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel, Frankie Frezko YouTube channel, also on X at Sean_Stanley11. We're going to dive more into this. This show is going to be more about the Double or Nothing pay-per-view and breaking down there. But I wanted to get this off my chest because, and again, what Frankie, that was 100% okay because we debated back and forth. We talked, we know. That's what I don't understand. It's like you listened to what I had to say. I listened to what you had to say. Look, I don't have to agree with what you say.
Same.
I'll respond back and then we go back and forth. But it's like after it gets to a certain point, it's like why does it have to go like just disrespectful? Like at some point, like you can go, I've seen conversations where they start out great and I'm like, oh, good, a good conversation here. They're talking it out. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, your mama smells like trash. Like, the hell, bro? Like, can't we just sit and debate and enjoy what we have here? We went back and forth, and we go back and forth every Tuesday night. But we still respect each other, and yeah, we'll make fun of each other's points, or we'll but it's pro wrestling, man. And there's more than just WWE and AEW. I'm just using them as an example. But I mean, look, you got good stuff going on in TNA. You got good stuff happening with NWA. CCW here locally for us is on fire. There's GCW. There's a ton of them. I bring them up every day to look at this, to find new wrestling that's going on to just watch. And you're seeing what's happening in WWE, what's happening in, AEW. You're seeing that also on the independents, and maybe some of that they're taking from the independents or vice versa. But that's when wrestling was good in the Attitude Era. Everybody was taking everybody else's ideas, putting theirs on it, and coming up with similar stuff, but making it better and making it their own. So, look, we'll discuss more of this Tuesday night, 7 p.m., Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel or the Frankie Frezko YouTube channel, whichever one you prefer. But either way, switch over to the other one, hit the subscribe button so you can help both of us out. So, Frankie Frezko, let's dive in. AEW Double or Nothing. The kickoff show, I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know how this is going to go, bro. Like, watched it, and again, it is what it is. The kickoff shows are the same for both. But I was like, all right, let's see what happens. And then I look at my X feed, and it says, I think it was Sean Ross Sapp or somebody had said, sources say, make sure you're paying attention to the beginning of AEW Double or Nothing. Something's going to happen. I was like, okay, let's see what happens. They started off, and it is Will Ospreay and Roderick Strong. my mind started going, okay, all right. I know I kind of see how this, I thought, okay, I see how this is going to go. Great match by the two, by the way. Tremendous match. I mean, I can't say that I knew it was going to be. I can't act surprised that those two went out there and had a great match. Look, Roderick's not a high flyer, but what he does in the ring, everything he does, just looks painful. Like it comes across. So like when he's pounding on Ospreay's back, it's like you feel that stuff. So I love that part of, again, the storytelling of the match, and this one had good storytelling in it. Ospreay got his stuff in. Then they hit the move, what's his finisher called? The one he hurt Bryan Danielson on it the last pay-per-view. And then he does it this pay-per-view, and Roderick Strong's laying there. And Will Ospreay's kind of going against himself.
You mean the Stormbreaker?
Is that the Stormbreaker? Is that the one? I mean, it might be. And if you're watching the video and we're wrong, comment below. Hit us up. Yeah. We're not perfect. We're going to make mistakes. There's too many damn moves to try to remember them all right now. And then Don Callis goes into his ear and was like, go win the belt. When that happened, what were you thinking? When that match was going on, what were your thoughts as far as, because my thoughts were the whole time was Ospreay's winning this title.
Yeah. I mean, we had,
I'm saying, like, we picked Ospreay to win the title, but honestly,
no, I think I picked,
did you go with Roderick?
I went with Roderick because I said, how is Undisputed going to recover from this?
Yeah.
They're trying to build them. So,
and the thing was, when he started doubting himself, like he hooks him and I'm like, oh, I'm wrong. Ospreay's going to lose this. This is where Ospreay goes in the tailspin and everything, like, kind of like battling himself because of what happened with Bryan Danielson. And now he might have injured Roderick Strong. I thought they were going with that.
I mean, I really honestly thought that this was going to be Will Ospreay's first loss. It made sense.
It started going that, like, at the end, when they started doing that, I was like, man, I'm wrong. I thought I was wrong.
But when we think we're right, or when I think I'm right, I'm wrong. Because, of course, Tony Khan went ahead and gave him the green light and said, nah, Will Ospreay ain't losing tonight.
Yep. Nope. So then that happens. Then you get Adam Cole out.
Yes.
He cuts his promo. Cool to see him back. And then the lights go out.
Yes.
The video was pretty badass, honestly. Him walking down the hallway, opening the door, seeing like all the things, the mantle, the MJF, this and that, and then
and the photo.
Yeah, the photo with just Adam Cole at the beginning, and then he slides it together, and then the light, it kind of goes dark again. They focus on Adam Cole in the ring, and he's just kind of looking around, and the music hits, and out comes
Triple H, baby.
Basically, yeah, right. He's got the jacket on. He's got the everything. He's got the denim jacket. He's coming out a Triple H style. He gets in the ring, and again, we'll discuss more of the MJF and everything, what it means for AEW tomorrow, Tuesday night, 7 p.m.
7.
I feel like this is good stuff. But anyways, he cuts the promo. He hugs Adam Cole. Then he low blows Adam Cole and then hits him with the move, gets Adam Cole out. And to me, can I tell you something? And this is where I'll leave it at. I don't want to get in details. We can discuss more tomorrow. I feel like that was the end. That right there ended MJF Adam Cole.
As far as their friendship has been over.
No. I mean, that just said, okay, the devil feud is done.
I don't think so. I think Adam Cole's going to come back with Undisputed and attack him or something. I think that's the route they're going to go with.
Roddy losing and the way they've handled it, and again, not getting too deep into this right now, why? At this point, why?
Because we never got closure. Let's keep it real. We never did.
He just kicked them in the balls.
Yeah, but
did a move on him, and then said, "Get this shit stain out of my ring." He called Adam Cole a shit stain.
that's why we didn't get the closure, because we didn't get them actually having a wrestling match.
Response.
We did it. We just got him getting kicked in the nuts, and then obviously getting called the shit stain.
I love it. So then they do that. He says he's all elite. He rips up his pant leg and reveals I hope he didn't pay much for that tattoo. I mean, I don't know if it just didn't come across good on the photo or on the.
I mean, it wasn't a bad tattoo. It's just that he's not. I don't think he's gonna stay for the rest of his career in AEW. I think at one point in time he'll eventually leave. So he'll probably gonna have to either take another tattoo of the next organization he's probably gonna join, or he'll probably have to get that tattoo modified.
No, I mean, if anything, he just leaves the W. If he goes to WWE, he takes out the AE and it's just the W. So either way, it's there. But MJF is back, and I cannot wait to see where that goes. I think that put a little bit of fresh air in the balloon that is AEW, and I'm happy to see him back.
This is what his return did. This to WWE is up here, and AEW is down here. His return averages it out again a little bit like that. WWE still has the advantage, but again, you start finding some form.
That's where I think like I don't understand why it's WWE AEW. It should be where AEW was before. They lost a couple rings. Now they're coming back up. They need to battle themselves, man. That's what AEW needs to focus on. Focus on AEW. Screw the WWE stuff.
But you want to know something? What did MJF do out there? Didn't he reference WWE?
Because all the talk was him going to WWE, and again, it's an easy target. It's an easy target to sit there. And again, if they want to use that, which it's whatever they want to do, but look, he mentioned Vince McMahon, who is no longer with WWE, first off, but and then he also says the other stuff about WWE. So you're giving WWE time on your pay-per-view. I've talked about this before. Just makes no sense. Why not just say the company up north? WCW used to do that all the time. The company up north, the this and that. Why mention them? Like,
but he came out.
He makes sense.
Did you think he came out with the same type of outfit that Triple H usually comes out with for a reason? I think that was taking a shot at WWE as well.
I think it was a shot, but also I think it was him saying, "Look, the MJF that you guys knew before is gone. The scarf, the fun-loving, that the kangaroo kicks. I'm just going to start kicking ass, and if you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't."
I'm going to miss the kangaroo kick.
It almost, you know what, also, too, another person that he kind of reminded me of coming out like that, but I don't think he cut the sleeves off of it, Roddy Piper. And that's somebody MJF mentions a lot. And Roddy Piper didn't care. You like him? Okay. If you don't, give two shits.
And
I'm going to get my stuff either way. So I think what he did was he kind of made a modern Triple H, Roddy Piper together, because now you're taking a shot at him, but at the same time, you're bringing out the new MJF, what I believe will be the new MJF. So after that, go ahead.
I still think he's going to be the same MJF, just with a little bit more of an attitude type of vibe. And I also do feel that, I mean, not to say anything, but he looked in really good shape. Like, he looked like he had been working on himself. So I'm happy about that,
I think
too.
He's lost a little bit of he looks a lot.
He's lost weight.
He's leaner, but he doesn't look as like when he was at the end. He looked a lot more like muscular. Now he looks athletic. Maybe that's the word, athletic. He looks athletic, not just like, hey, let me put on muscle so I look good on TV. Now he looks athletic. So maybe that's more the thing. And that's going to help him be more agile in the ring too. And maybe that's why he went that route, because when you're more muscular, your arms doesn't bend as far. So when you bend your shoulder back too far, boom, it pops. That's what's going to happen. You can only stretch your muscles so far before they say, all right, we're going to pop you. So second match was, and again, I might skip a couple, so don't shoot me. I believe it was the trios match.
Yeah, the Bang Bang Gang.
Bang Bang Gang and Death Triangle. Now, look, I like that they're on the pay-per-view, but this is one of the matches where I said, hey, You could have had this kind of on the kickoff show, got the same thing, but you did have Juice Robinson return. And as always, it was a good match, a good trios match. Bang Bang Gang back together complete. I'm happy about that. Juice Robinson returns. But other than that, I mean, it was what it was to me. That match was what it was.
Here's the issue. The problem was when we did our predictions, we had 9 matches. By the time it was the live pay-per-view, I counted 10. And on the pre-show, they had 2 matches. They had Thunder Rosa fight, and then they had Billy Gunn and the
Acclaimed against Gates of Agony.
Yeah, so it's like, dude, they gave 12 matches in total, 2 of them on the pre-show. So it is kind of hard for them to go ahead and stick that one in the pre-show. I think it's a little bit too excessive, but it still was a really exciting match.
It was. Again, I'm not taking anything away from that. So calm down, AEW Ravages.
I like the fact that Penta and Pac and all of them, they're back together as the Death Triangle. And at the same time, again, another wrinkle. The first match you had MJF. Now the next wrinkle you had Juice Robinson. And I think that's why that match still caught my attention, just for the simple fact that Juice Robinson was kind of like an extra wrinkle on there.
Well, that's the reason that they didn't put it on the kickoff show, because you take away from that return. Like, it made sense once Juice Robinson came back. Again, as I said, most of my stuff was like before the matches started. The other one was the Hook Chris Jericho whole thing. Like, again, we'll dive more into this. Let's dive into that match now too, because there was a wrinkle in that match as well. It felt like there was a wrinkle in a lot of the beginning matches up until you hit the main events. There were wrinkles throughout. This one was, I love the fact they used dice. I love that with what Jericho does every time on a pay-per-view. And look, man, I am tired of seeing Chris Jericho. And it's not that. It's just like, I think he needs a reset. It's not that I want him to retire. I'm not on that bandwagon or anything like that. I just think he needs a reset, man. And look, I like what he's doing with this. And apparently he knows exactly what he's doing. And maybe what he's doing is working with me. But I love the fact that every time he pulls out the bag, it's something that links the town that they're in to the match. Like, like the one time they were in Canada and he whips it out and it's hockey pucks. This time they're in Vegas, he whips it out and it's dice. I'm not a big fan of taking bumps on dice. And as you saw, some of them were sticking in them. I'm sure they're probably a little sore today and a little bruised up. But again, this was another match I thought could make it on the kickoff show. And again, as I say it, because again, 12 matches total, as we just said, 2 on the kickoff, 10 on the main show. This was another one where I thought, look, you got make it a 2-hour pre-show and add more matches to that. I mean, if you're going to do something, I mean, that's the only thing. Like, I felt like that match was like one of those matches where I've seen this before. And again, the wrinkle was Brian Keith. Sorry, I apologize to Mr. Keith. But he makes his, I guess, joining the learning tree after Big Bill almost gets impaled by a table outside. If he would have landed a little bit. Yeah, oh my goodness.
Jesus, that was dangerous.
I don't know how that would have been. If he would have landed a little bit, do the legs bend? Or did that just stay there? And like his back is just, but
not only that, but
thankfully, he lands little inches away and nothing seriously happens.
And then when he lifted up his face, he kind of realized it. Did you notice that? He went like, oh
no, yeah, he looks.
He was like, holy crap.
Let me lay back down here and say, okay. Yeah. He may have really passed out after. He may have looked over.
I would have after that.
Dude,
that was scary.
I've never seen legs on the table stand up like that. Like, usually they fold with the table or out a little bit. That one was like it was cemented into the ground. Weird.
And then they showed the replay, which is when I was like, okay, cool. They actually are showing the replay because I wanted to see what happened to that table.
Yeah, well, that's because of the way how close it was, and there was no injuries. If that would have been the other way around, that would never make replay. Mm-hmm. And then Brian Keith interferes. He takes out Hook. He takes out Shibata. He puts a trash can on Shibata. And Jericho pins Shibata. But I had a question for Tony Khan. Because much like the pay-per-view or the PLE the night before, I don't think Shibata's shoulders were down. If you look inside that trash can, I mean, I get it, but I asked Tony Khan, are we going to get the rematch here? I mean, Triple H came out and said, the referee's decision is final, but I think Randy deserves a rematch with him. Shibata going to get the rematch? Is that where this is heading?
I don't think there's going to be a rematch.
God,
but I like the wrinkle, though. I really, really enjoyed the wrinkle. When I saw him come out with the mask and everything, I was like, okay, cool. I'm glad that he did it, because obviously, if you guys saw Dynamite, he got choked out by both Hook and Shibata, and then they gave the win to Shibata and Hook, and then he got left out at the end. So he got screwed, which was what we were talking about, right?
Screwed. He's the one that tapped out. So both of them won. I mean, he lost the match, but at least it makes sense to why he was there.
But
why? Why is he going to get screwed? Why should he be in the match? He's the one that tapped. He lost.
Yes, but he got screwed because technically both of the guys got given the win over him. If he's going to lose, he should have only lost to one of them, not lost to both of them.
But how do you lose to one of them? Triple threat match is the first pinfall or submission. He tapped out to both moves.
Yeah, but
who does the referee give the win to?
But that's not fair for him, because now he has to endure
trophies.
He has to endure 2 submissions being done to him at the exact same time. That is bad.
Can I tell you something? The Learning Tree did it. Chris Jericho did it. Didn't have a problem. He didn't tap. Well, that's what Brian Keith needs to learn from the Learning Tree.
Well, there you go. That's why he joined them.
How to be tougher. But I do like that he's getting a push, man. I've watched this guy in some of the, whatever we want to call indies. He was in GCW. He's Ring of Honor, I believe, as well. Dude, I like his style, man. He's just a mean mofo, and he can take to the air if he needs to. And I'm happy he's there. So kudos to that. I like that. If I skip something, please come let me know. Timeless Tony Storm versus Serena Deeb. Better match than I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm. I was a little bit distracted.
Yeah.
You know why, right? I was distracted by Mariah May out there.
Sorry. Oh, yeah. Okay. No, I can.
I don't know if you heard the fans. The fans were screaming out Mariah May.
Yeah, no. That's the thing. Like, because I don't think, again, as the match wore on, Serena Deeb ended up becoming more the heel.
She did.
Than what Tony Storm was. Tony Storm started cheering for Tony and going against Serena. And then I liked the fact that they threw in a wrinkle outside the ring. And again, not a big wrinkle, not a return, nothing like that. But Mariah May and Luther battling over, Mariah May wanting to throw the towel in, Luther not. And then ultimately, Tony Storm rolls out of the ring, sees Luther with the towel, thinks he was going to throw it in, grabs it and throws it out into the crowd. And it's little things like that where, again, it's little things to me where it's like little nuggets to like, okay, I can see ultimately, look, almost every tag team at some point is going to end. I can see Mariah May now starting to distance herself slowly, maybe. But as I said, the timeless one, time is about to run out on her reign as a champion, I believe. I believe it has ran its course. It is good. It continues to be good, but it's starting to run a little long. But at the same time, maybe Mariah May as an antagonist changes the timeless Tony Storm character from the heel. So now she becomes the baby face, and the timeless Tony Storm character story now takes on a new chapter and maybe refreshes it a little bit. That was my thinking as I was watching kind of how it played out during that match. And I was like, okay, all right, little things that they throw out. That's it. Just a little thing. But again, it makes me start going, okay. And again, is AEW going to do any of this? I don't know. But that's what I love about wrestling, because now I can sit there and you get lost in the fact that they may do this. Oh, it could really happen. Or you just trick yourself and then you become that fan that's like, oh, the AEW doesn't know what they're doing. No, but that's what pro wrestling's about, man. Falling and just getting into a storyline and taking it in ways that you don't know if it's going to happen, but you hope it goes that way. And then when it doesn't happen, you're disappointed. You hate the company. I mean, that's what happens, right?
Well, I personally thought that Tony Storm and Mariah May, with all these wrinkles, are eventually gonna meet up at one point in time. And I still think Timeless Tony is still gonna be the heel, while Mariah May is gonna be the baby. I think that's what's gonna eventually happen, because as you can tell, the fans were
Yeah, but see,
screaming her
I
name
think
out.
the reaction of the crowd, yes, I agree with that. But Mariah May is more of a heel, care about her own self than what I believe. That's why I think she's going to become the villain of the Timeless Storm movie rather than Timeless Tony Storm. Because again, how do most movies end? How do most movies begin? You start with the person and then you watch them transform into being the better person. And then because of a villain or somebody that changes something in their story, I feel like that's where this is going.
Yeah, but remember, the bad guy usually loses in the story. The good guy
Yeah,
usually wins.
I think look, this is what I think will happen. I think she beats Mariah May one time to keep her title. And then Mariah May institutes help and gets the title off of Tony Storm.
I think what's gonna happen with Mariah May is she's gonna get the same pop that at one point in time Jamie Hayter got, and then that's when she's gonna eventually win. And I think she's gonna carry the belt for a minute, and then eventually she'll lose it. But I think she'll gain that same type of momentum as Jamie Hayter did when she won.
I like it. I like it. Man, I'm trying. I'm going off memory here. I forgot to write everything down, and I left my pad in the room. So now we've got, what other matches am I missing before we get to the three main events? Oh, Adam Copeland, Malachi Black, barbed wire steel cage match.
Correct.
I loved it. I loved it, dude.
Our boy Gangrel, baby. Shout out to CCW.
And again, I saw people online like, oh, and even my daughter was kind of like, the ending felt a little clumsy. I don't know that I felt it felt clumsy. I thought it was good, man. And maybe it was just me because Gangrel pops up out of the thing and you get what you didn't get at WrestleMania. You get, Adam Copeland, and I almost messed up when I exited out. I was like, we finally got the Adam Copeland Gangrel reunion of the Brood. And I even threw a little underscore. I said, I wonder if they reunite the Brood tonight and Christian Cage wins the AEW title because of help from Copeland and Gangrel. I was like, yeah. I was like, man, I wish I could put that in small print just so somebody
But you want to know something? We asked for this in WWE, right? And we never got it. And we're now AEW is giving it to us. So this is the cool thing about, like, when you can't get it delivered in one organization, you're probably gonna get it in this one. And I wouldn't be surprised if they bring it back and then they actually bring out three of them. So now it just opens the door for another appearance.
Do that, man. Like I feel like
I think so. Is just a little bit later. Like
I feel like he's elevated so past that, and like it doesn't make sense as maybe like like as soon as he's done, like my last thing I do is reunite with so that they can sell more of their little plank boards together.
Mm-hmm.
Adam and Christian plank boards, whatever they're called. I forgot what they're called. Pure Plank, I think, is what they're called. You can check them out online. But yeah, maybe at the very end. But I just think Christian's on a roll, man. Like and we'll discuss this match in a minute. Even after what happened last night, I still think he's one of the better heels up there.
He is, man. His level.
He doesn't have to win. He just goes out there 30 minutes, man. 30 minutes. You're still doing 30-minute matches, bro. Like, come on.
And not only is his level way better, like his career has actually, I'm starting to like him better in AEW than his actual career before AEW. And the crazy thing about it is that I think he elevated Swerve. I think it helped Swerve after this match. It brought back, that Swerve swag. And then I'm not gonna lie, I mean, bringing also Swerve's partner, this guy, the one who dances, what's his name?
Nana,
Prince Nana. That actually helped Swerve a lot as well. So,
oh no,
but I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
want,
The
but
presentation of Swerve
yeah,
is Nana coming out first, and I love the bottles.
yeah, that was really good.
Come
Yeah,
out to play. I was like, dude,
but but go
oh
but
yes,
but going back to the
yeah,
Adam
the
Copeland fight,
Copeland.
I think the only thing I was a little bit disappointed was the barbed wire. I thought they were gonna go a little bit extra with the barbed wire. They only
Yeah, you
had
couldn't
it at
really
the
tell
top.
it in on the
Yeah.
cage, except when they did some close-ups, you saw it a little bit. And I don't think did they use the cage? Like, I mean, other than when he jumped off of it, I don't remember them really slamming like into the cage much.
No, there was just a part where I think he grabbed them and put the barbed wire into his face and stuff
Yeah,
like
right.
that.
Yeah,
But
like
that's the only time I saw that.
see, like with that type of cage, I would think you'd do more like power bombs into the cage so that their back hits the barbed wire. Like again, that's part of the weaponry of the match. I did like they had tables inside.
That was
They
pretty cool.
made it there must be a winner. It's not just escaping. Like I like that aspect where they take away that whole if you get out of the cage first you win. Like I mean, I don't like that part of the cage matches. I used to love the
That was
fact
old
that
school. That's more old school, I guess.
yeah, no, well, no, that well, old school used to be you didn't go out of the cage, you didn't go in on top of the cage, like they weren't climbing. Their thought wasn't to. You would have the heels maybe try to act like they're going to scale the cage, but they would get up to like the top rope and then they would get pulled back down. Like there was never making it as high. That started in like the Attitude Era,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit before. Actually, no, it was WWE because even
No,
what
but
happened?
I
I think
remember.
when it changed was when they had like King Kong Bundy against Hogan, and it
But
was like, okay, you can escape the cage to win. The first one to hit the floor wins, and they made
yeah,
it more of a battle there. But
because I remember in the 90s, I remember there was one with Hogan. I don't remember who his opponent was, that they both stepped out of the cage and they both landed almost at exact same
exactly the same
time.
time.
So then they were like showing replays to see who got there first. So I when I started watching wrestling, that was more of like
Yeah.
the what I used to see,
And
them coming
again,
out of the ring and
that's
stuff like
not
that.
bad, but after you do so many of them, it's like
Yeah.
there should be certain matches where it's like, okay, you have to a survival match. You have to escape the confines of the steel cage to win. Not every time it be that way, because I think they got away from it to where like you didn't get win. It's just like, oh, I just got to escape. Like, I don't know. It gets a little bit old. I like the fact that this was pinfall submission inside the steel cage, and it was violent, and they used the barbed wire. And by the way, I don't know that Malachi Black ever tapped out. I believe he passed out.
Yeah,
He
he
didn't
did.
tap out. He
Nah, he
just
passed
passed
out.
out. And kudos. They dropped little nuggets on, I believe it was Collision or maybe it was Dynamite, when Adam Copeland was like, hey, if you want me to take a bended knee, how about I take your guys from you? And sure enough, during the show, they come out there, they align with Malachi Black. Then they both pull their headbands down and they line with Adam Copeland. And I was like, son of a biscuit. They're going to do it right here. And then the clothesline. And I said, oh, they got me for a minute. They got me.
I'm telling you, those little wrinkles. And then I hope the
They
Rated R
need to do
Superstar.
more, man. They need to do
Yeah.
more because then now, again, as you do more of those, people will start tuning in because now they're picking up little nuggets from the show. And I get it, social media, they can throw them out on that as well, but you're still going to get people to buy in because people don't want to miss something.
And it doesn't have to be like dramatic, like
No,
MJF
not at
coming
all.
back or Juice. Those are good, but little wrinkles like that matter. And that's why I was telling you, for the first time, I was invested all 4.5 hours. I was like, wow, each match has a
Yeah.
little wrinkle to
Well,
it.
my thing was they had their moments in the matches. That's why I said, look, good, great, however you want to word it, pay-per-view. The performances inside the ring, great. There was little moments that this pay-per-view had that to me they had been missing. And again, the last I looking back at it right now, what was the moment at the last AEW pay-per-view?
I don't remember.
It's like, but that's what happens though when you start doing things like it's like, what was the what did they do? I started thinking about it. I was like, was there anything big that moment that happened?
I guess,
and in this match,
wasn't it
there
Will
were
Ospreay?
moments probably in each match that you could go and say, okay, I remember that match. That match I remember because of that happening.
Yeah, I mean, remember
I remember because that happened.
Remember back in the day when Bryan Danielson came out and he first was introduced, and when
remember Adam Cole came out first.
Correct.
And they brought the Elite together, and it was like, damn it, no Bryan Danielson. And then they did their thing, and then his music hit. It's like, son of a biscuit, they brought him in finally.
Exactly. So those little
moments make for, again, you remember certain things. For it's not, you're not going to remember every match. You're not going to remember every headlock. You're not going to remember every armbar. But when you look back at it, you go, oh, I remember that match because that happened. I remember that match because that happened. On this card, there was probably a moment, I believe, in every match. In every match, there was that moment where you can remember a match because of a moment. And I'm not saying it makes it a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star match. I'm saying when you call out a match, you go, oh, I remember that because of this.
Yep.
And that hasn't happened in a while.
No.
That hasn't happened in a while. And as I said, since Revolution, to me, AEW storytelling on TV has improved. I don't care about the rating numbers. Yeah, I'm going to use them because it shows that casual fans are not clicking right now with them. But does that mean that AEW's been doing anything wrong? No. But I think as they do this more consistently, they're going to get that casual to come over, and you're going to see numbers start to go up because it works, man.
Yes,
it works. Is it going to work right now? No, their numbers probably aren't going to. And again, ratings don't mean anything. I just use it to see if casual wrestling fans are making a jump. AEW's got their base audience. AEW's going nowhere. I don't care what WWE lovers want. I don't care what AEW haters want. AEW is fine.
Yep.
They got things to work on. But again, it's 5 years old, man. And I'll sit here every week and me and Frankie will go back and forth and hit on things they need to do better. But most of it's criticism because we want to see it get back to what it was the first 3 years, man.
Yep.
After the first 3 years, I was like, there's no stopping this. Then there was kind of a time where I was like, well, maybe they might hit a wall. But they're not going anywhere, man. They never were. That wall was just going to be a slow momentum. And did they burst through it? I believe now they're starting to bust through the wall, and you're going to see it.
Well, I hope the Rated R superstar did not injure himself really bad. I hope he's able to recover as well.
Yeah. No, I don't think he did. I don't know why he
was limping, man.
Well, yeah, because he came down on his hip.
That was bad.
I'm not sure what he was thinking. Like why he.
I think he was trying to do an elbow, wasn't he?
Well, no, he was trying to do an elbow, but it's like he was kind of like his body was coming down like he was going to land on his like a regular Macho Man elbow drop off the double handle axe handle Macho Man used to do. He was coming down straight. Like I don't know if he just mistimed it or if he was like, uh-oh. But it just felt like it was like off a little bit. But yeah, I think it's just his hip. I mean, again, it's probably in a lot of pain. I don't know that he really injured it because as long as he's walking on it, it's probably gonna be. I guarantee you, this morning he's probably got a bruise about this big wherever he landed on the ring there, probably.
Yeah.
But then we get into the main events now.
Wait, hold on. There was 2 more matches before that. Actually.
What? Who?
Yes. So the Trent Beretta versus Orange Cassidy.
Oh, yes.
And we could quickly talk about it. And the Jon Moxley versus Takeshita.
Okay, and you know what's funny? Those 2 matches to me, they didn't have wrinkles, man.
Well, okay, let's go back here. Hold on. On the Orange Cassidy one, Orange Cassidy came out and he changed
came
the
out
song.
to the new music, his old music, the OG music.
And then if you notice, he came out with a black undershirt instead of a white undershirt. Right, yeah. So again, little wrinkles like that. And then Trent Beretta got mad and walked away, like saying he's done, he's quit, he's no longer going to wrestle.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. You're right. There's some wrinkles there, but I just mean, again, they're starting to grow on me like Jericho a little bit. The feud, not Orange Cassidy, Trent Beretta as performers, great. But the problem is, like, you've had this feud. This should have been something more than just a wrestling match.
True.
You made, quote unquote, you made Chucky retire, and your comeback is, oh, we're just gonna have a plain wrestling match. And I get it. He gets beat by a wrestling move, or that was how he lost the roll up, and then now it's okay. Now he's done, and ultimately, I think again, I want to see where this goes. Don Callis made the announcement also Wednesday. He introduces the new signee of the Don Callis Club.
Mm-hmm.
Orange Cassidy wearing a black shirt. Trent Beretta leaves and said he's done. I'm going to go out on a limb and say one of those two joined the Don Callis Club, and I think it's the latter more than the freshly squeezed one. That's just my belief.
And then the Moxley Takeshita, that one you really didn't have that much of a wrinkle. The only thing was it was kind of weird that Moxley came with, I think his left arm was like wrapped.
Homage to the mummy, yes.
And then he used it to choke out Takeshita for a minute there, so that was pretty cool. But and then obviously,
my thing is, to be honest, I didn't give the match much thought because to me, look, man, why are we having an IWGP eliminator match on a pay-per-view? I would have much rather had that on a Dynamite or Collision. Had Takeshita, whatever, cheat, whatever, have everybody get involved, however you want to do it, beat Moxley, and then now this is for the IWGP title, and he already holds a victory over Moxley. Now I can get into it. I never once thought Takeshita was winning, honestly. I mean,
I think they dropped the ball on that one. I think Takeshita should have taken the win because I think this is the second time he loses to Moxley.
Yeah, and he hasn't. I don't think he's won since he lost to Ospreay.
Yeah, he's been on a really bad streak, I think.
And maybe they turn it around. And again, I'm not faulting anything. I felt like they could have done something a little bit more to where, okay, it's a title match on the pay-per-view instead of a eliminator match. It's like, what on an eliminator match on a pay-per-view? Great. So you win on the pay-per-view to get a match on Dynamite? A title match instead of having the title match right there? That was only, and again, maybe I might have poo-pooed on the match from that end where I was just not really into it all the way. And look, Takeshita can go. The match was on point. The match was on point for everything, and it told the story. And
he dominated him.
The only other thing that I didn't agree with was, I think he only hit him once with the finishing move, and he got the pin.
That's what I'm saying. Takeshita dominated that match, the whole match, and then Moxley wins.
But all that, and then Takeshita took one, done. I feel like something's going on with Takeshita that either they're long-term storytelling this, and we'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
All right, now we're into the main events. We got about 12 minutes left to go. I want to try to keep this under an hour.
Okay.
Mercedes Moné took on Willow Nightingale.
A+.
I do not disagree with you there. I love the fact that the fans made their decision and made her the heel, being the CEO, Mercedes. The response she got when she got announced was the response I thought she would get. And Willow got the response I thought she would get. And they played it well during the match. And I like the fact, the one thing I said was, I know Mercedes Moné is going to win the title. I just hope they keep Willow Nightingale strong.
And
I felt they did that when they did the little nugget. If you watched it, the nugget was Statlander came out in all black.
Yep.
If you watch Stokely Hathaway, I believe he was in a white suit, black shirt.
He was.
So now you watch that, and now she hits her power bomb. Statlander's on the apron. She jumps down. Stokely stays on. She pulls him down. By then, it was already almost a 2 or 3 count. Aubrey Edwards comes in, 1-2. Moné kicks out. And then from there, It went downhill, and then Monet picks up the win and gets her shine as the champion.
Yep.
As Willow is selling her injuries in the ring. Once Monet got her shine, the title, she's leaving. Then they focused back into the ring. And then, Willow and Stokely gets into Willow's face like, you lost our title. Statlander pushes him away, says, don't mess with my friend. Time is not now. They go to leave. She's got her arm on her. She does transition as she goes. That's when I was like, okay, something's coming. And then sure enough, bam, she does the turn on her.
Yep.
I like the way everything played out. I was a little bit upset at the fact that I thought, but then when I watched it again this morning, and I didn't think they made her look strong enough. After rewatching it, I disagree with myself. And the first thing, that's why I like usually doing the recap shows the morning after, so I can rewatch it just to make sure something I watched in the moment I can watch again. They made it good. They made it perfect. It took it from an A to an A+ because I thought the match was great regardless. I thought that they didn't make her look strong enough. I was wrong. I take it back. A+ on that match.
And the crowd helped a lot in that match. They were into Willow. They were cheering for both sides. It was very good. The entrance for Mercedes Moné was fun. All these little wrinkles here and there. I actually thought somebody was going to come out and challenge. I was hoping it was Dr. Britt Baker because they were zooming in on Monet for a minute there. And then she just walked out. And that's when they eventually went to Willow. But overall, a very solid match by both women.
Look, I'm glad they didn't bring out something there because I think it would have been overdone by that point. They threw the wrinkles in with Juice, MJF. Now, if you have Britt return, I don't think it means as much.
Well, the only reason I thought Britt
would it have been a cool thing? Yes.
Well, because of Adam Cole. Adam Cole.
Yeah. No, I know that. I know what you're saying. I mean, yeah, it would have been cool to see, but I think you take away because again, when you looked at the way they kind of set this up, all your wrinkles were in the were in the beginning, right?
True. Yeah.
Then they did the Takeshita Moxley. There's nothing really there.
True.
So you kind of got away from that, and then you went into your main events.
Well, before you went to the main event, I believe that Adam Copeland was the lead into the main event.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you're right. But again, there was the wrinkle of Gangrel, but I mean, yeah. But you were away from the, I don't know, the stars of AEW returning.
Correct.
Guess.
But again,
like.
I think, look, if they would not have done the Willow Nightingale and this girl turning on her, then I would have been fine if they would have brought on like Dr. Britt Baker. But because they did that turn on Statlander turned on her, I'm fine with that. I was like, okay, they did something. That's all I wanted after. I just didn't want Monet to just win.
That was the whole thing. Like I would have been okay if they would have hinted at like what they did, the thing with Stokely and them. Even if Statlander would have walked away, I would have known, okay, on Dynamite, something might happen. Sure. Again, you leave that little thing. And then now to me, I'm thinking, okay, who challenges Mercedes Moné? We're going to find out on Dynamite. Now I'm tuning into Dynamite. You got to leave a little bit out there for,
True.
And again, we're different species, me, you, and like, hardcore fans, because we start making our own angles in our head as we're watching it. Most people don't do that.
Yeah.
But again, I thought they delivered on everything. And even if they didn't have the turn, which added to it, I think I still would have been an A+ with that match. Just it told the story, and Willow wasn't going away easily, and Mercedes Moné wasn't going away easily. It was a good, hard-fought contest. Solid. And now, to me, honestly, too, Willow has a way of saying, I could have beaten you if it wasn't for Statlander and Stokely, so you can go back to it again later if you want.
Very good point.
And then also you made Mercedes Moné able to, depending on how you want to go with this, her next opponent could be a heel and she could go back to being face because she didn't cheat to win. She won it clean.
Very good.
Did she get help? I mean, with not having the time there, yes. But the
unintentional help.
Yes, yeah, but the character doesn't take a hit to where like, oh, she's a heel now. Correct. You left that open as well. So now it could be anybody on the spectrum. Yep. You're not just handcuffed to being like, okay, it's going to have to be a face because we watched her cheat to win. No, they left it open, and I like the fact that he did that. They did not allow the crowd reaction to change everything. And again, when I say that, the crowd wasn't like 100% against. Like they weren't throwing trash into the ring and healing on her, but against Willow, she was considered the heel to me because of the response from the crowd.
The fans were in the moment, and I liked it.
Yes,
that was the best part.
That was what this pay-per-view reminded me of with what happened at like WrestleMania. The fans were in the moment of this pay-per-view. Yeah. They were there and living off of the moment. Nothing else. Not 3 weeks ago we saw, Willow put her through the table, so she's went. No, it was what's going to happen right here, right now, all night long. And kudos also to the fans for understanding. And I believe Tony Khan has conditioned the fans now for these marathons because they do take little small breaks during matches to where you feel you're like, the crowd into this? And then they've realized that, okay, now it's a little bit of a lull. Let's rest. Okay, now they're bringing it up, and the crowd gets into it. On each match, I noticed it. Yeah. Maybe at the beginning, they were into it at the announcing. They did their little, beginning part of the match. They were kind of like, okay, all right. Yay, you had to crowd. Then as it started getting to where they needed to get up, the crowd rose up to the occasion, but they weren't sitting there the whole match like, no, because they understood. Yeah, 4.5 hours of this,
Yeah.
So, and then we had the title match. It was Swerve against Christian, and we talked about it a little bit earlier. I thought this match delivered, man. A solid A.
Solid.
There was actually no. I'm sorry, I take that back. This match delivered. It was a solid match. Told a good story. Nana gets kicked out early. Then his crew get kicked out late. Nick comes back. Nana comes back, chases him out with the club, which to me was fantastic. I thought it was hilarious.
Yep.
And then basically he goes for the spear. He hits the drive-by out of nowhere.
Yep.
First time I'd seen that. I'm sure he's done it before. Yeah. But the first time I'd seen it like that, then he hits the stomp, then he hits another drive-by and gets the pin. And I thought they told a great story. And as you said, I think that match helped what we had been talking about, where like, okay, what have they really made? And we were talking about both companies, by the way, because I know we're talking AEW here. Have they made their champions mean anything? This match, I think, took a step in the right direction.
I agree.
For Swerve.
Yeah, it elevated him, like I said earlier. It elevated him as the champion. And again, it doesn't hurt Christian. Again, what Christian has been doing is amazing. Yeah. I love it. And I just wish the story would have been a little bit longer. But, at the end of the day,
but here's the thing, though. Has that story ended? That's, again, yes, he beat him. But again, Christian was a spear away from winning the title. If you look at it, but he caught him with the drive-by. He hit first.
You could probably
like there's things there to where it wasn't like he didn't hit the stomp, and then put him away, like solid. Like it was okay. He got him with the drive-by, and then he put him away after that. I mean, yeah, he hit the stomp and then another drive, but that's how he ends. That's his finish, kind of. It goes stomp and the drive-by again, but he caught the drive-by out of nowhere. Which, if Christian hits the spear, is Christian the champion? You know what I'm saying? There's that little bit of, okay, we'll have to see.
And again, they also had the wrinkle at the very beginning with the Swerve video promo at the beginning when he was coming out. So that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, and kudos to, and again, a lot of times I think what we don't realize is the story, and again, it helps when they put in the good packages. Like WWE's gotten better at it now. And AEW's always been pretty good at it, especially for the pay-per-views, kind of going back and leading you in the story of how they get to where they're at. After you take out all the craziness, then you get to where, Christian gets the challenge or gets picked as the challenger and you lead up all the little steps and you lead into the match, I believe AEW does a great job at that, which is why I think their pay-per-views always are delivering. You know what I'm saying? It's because now you've taken away all the other stuff and you're just at the lead in, which I think they do a decent job at, especially when it's the title. The title picture has always been pretty good stories. You had the Devil, you had, there's always been good storylines for their champions. The last couple pay-per-views, this one I thought led to a better storytelling, which got you more invested into the match.
Correct. And then we had Anarchy, baby.
A final countdown, baby.
I loved it.
There was a club in there.
I wish they would have played the whole track.
It's $200,000. They can't afford that.
Well, you even saw when the league was saying that was funny, bro. That was hilarious. It was great.
And Daniel Bryan's like, cut that shit off. I love it. Like again, that match is just chaos, man. And that match, look, to be honest, you could put anybody in that match, it's going to deliver because it's about violence.
Yeah.
Now is everybody going to be able to sit in a pile and get hit by a truck and a bus and then get set on fire and then hang in the ceiling for the last 5 minutes of the match?
I saw that. I felt bad for Darby, bro.
I sent out a tweet. I'm like, hey, at least Darby's just hanging out.
Darby, bro, he goes through some crazy stuff. And then not only that, but Sean, are we getting the pair of Reebok shoes that the Elite is coming out with? I mean, they came out today. I think they're on sale right now.
I will not be buying them. If I get them as a present, I will not throw them away. But
you know how much those shoes cost? They're going for $180, which is not a bad price.
No, for shoe, but I'm not a shoe guy. I'm not a shoe guy, bro.
I might get them. I might cop them.
I can care less, honestly, about my shoes. Maybe that's my downfall. Maybe I need to become a shoe guy. For me, again, there was Jack Perry grabbing TK.
That was
bringing him out. And of course, I tweeted out, if you haven't seen it yet, go to Sean_Stanley11. TK, after the flamethrower incident, basically rolled to the ring to get the hell out of there. It's the funniest thing. I was like, hey, at least he's committed, man. And it brought it in. I didn't know how they're going to incorporate Tony Khan, because also on the pre-show, which I thought was probably the best part of the kickoff, they did announce that the Owen Hart tournament would happen. And of course, they are going to put a stipulation on the matches now. The winner of the tournament will get a title shot at an AEW World title.
Doesn't that sound similar to King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring?
But see, I just think ultimately, man, that's what you're going to have to do with all of these things. Like the Royal Rumble used to never be, oh, you win and you get a shot at a title. No, it used to be, congratulations. You outlasted 29 other guys. And then it rolled into, hey, you're going to get a title shot. Because again, some of these things have to start meaning something. Because, okay, great. Zelina Vega, you're the queen of the ring. What the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
You're not doing like Miss America where you're sending her to, food pantries and she's handing out food to, you're not doing that. Maybe that they should have done some of that stuff with the community, affairs or something, but it didn't. I like the fact that they did that, and I almost forgot about that on the kickoff show, and I'm glad I thought about it. But also, I go back to that by saying this. Did AEW do the right thing by doing I get it. They only brought him up, a little bit, not even above. He wasn't even above the top rope. I don't believe. I believe he was about even with the top rope.
Mm-hmm.
But 3 days removed from the Owen Hart tragedy years ago, Owen Hart's wife in attendance, and you have Darby.
I mean,
and again,
I want to tell you something. I didn't personally.
I don't see anything wrong. I didn't have an issue.
I didn't. You know what? I didn't reference it. I didn't think about it.
I did not either until I saw
it now.
I saw it on X, and I was like, didn't even think about it then. But it is a talking point. It is a talking point. Was it thought about? Was it ran by Martha Hart? Does it need to be ran by Martha Hart? Again, they only took him up. I think his head was maybe at the top rope. It wasn't like he was, he wasn't even a steel cage height. Like he was literally. Think about this. Brian Danielson was on his knees and reached up and touched his hands.
For a minute there, when I saw them going like this, signaling, I thought they were asking for the steel cage to come back down. That's what honestly,
I thought. I thought they were going to lock him in the cage. That's what I thought too. And when it didn't, I was like, kind of like, what the hell happened? And then I saw the little rope thing there.
Yeah.
And then kudos to AEW too is they showed that he was on the care. Whether they wanted to or not, I don't know, because it seemed like it took forever to kind of get the feet tied or whatever. Like maybe they're and kudos to them if they're taking extra time to make sure everything was going to be safe or whatever. And then when they did lift them, you saw the carabiner and it was a thick, it was there, so, and again, I think it's a talking point maybe for Tuesday's show, not for this, because I don't think that anything should take away from that pay-per-view and that match as far as that's going. But it was brought up on the thing, and I was kind of like, because to be honest, I don't know that it really changes anything.
No.
Because you still have the Sting rappelled down, you still do all that stuff. It's just, to me, did they do the right steps to make sure everything was A-okay? That would be the only talking point I think affects anything. Like if they just said, hey, we're going to tie Darby in a fisherman's knot and hang him from his feet, I got an issue with that.
Yeah.
But you can tell they took everything, into and everything that was done there. I mean, hell, Jack Perry got set on freaking fire.
He did.
And it was obvious that they had poured the whatever that goop is. I don't know what that is that they put on you. But kudos to AEW to think about it and be like, hey, let's dunk him in the water so he looks wet. Hey, let's do all this stuff. And then, so now there's reasoning behind it. It's not just all of a sudden Jack Perry shows up and he looks wet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like I thought like little things like that mean, again, it's pro wrestling. We get it. It's like movies. It's, the cinematography and things like that. But it's also to me as a, a big wrestling fan, like don't insult my intelligence. Like don't have Jack Perry, wrestle him and then all of a sudden show up and his hair's all wet down. And then now you settle on like, I felt they took the time to really tell that story to where, okay, now when he gets set on fire, obviously you take the steps, but I don't have to know that you took the steps. And then kudos to the whole thing to where like his guys, the Jacksons weren't beat down enough. And obviously the fire extinguishers were right there, but they put him out pretty quick. You got the big scene of him in flames and then the fire extinguishers were on immediately.
Yeah.
So you got the big, oh my God moment. And then just in case, because again, it's like when you leave your feet, once you light them on fire, anything could go wrong. I mean, yeah, you've got the protection. Yeah. I'm sure they probably had a stunt coordinator work on all this because that's what WWE used to do when they did the Inferno matches. And their Inferno matches usually just be an arm on fire. This is Jack Perry. The whole like lower body was on fire. Like it was, and he walked a couple steps and then he got put out. I thought that was, again, a little excessive, but it told the story, man. I mean, it made the flamethrower mean something now. Not Darby Allin just didn't come out with the flamethrower. He used the damn thing.
Yeah.
And then
it worked.
Yeah. And then they beat up on Darby after that. And then what do? They roll him in the ring. They rip off that mask.
Yeah.
And then Okada pulls out the shoes and it's got the thumbtacks on the bottom.
Which I just want to go ahead and mention. I just finished purchasing them. So I just went to Champ Sports and I was able to get a pair of the new Elite shoes. The Omni Young Bucks Zone 2. $139. I just bought them.
Oh boy.
I like them. They look good. I'm not a crazy shoe person, but I like them. I could rock them. I can't wait. When I get them, guys.
The only thing I don't like is
they
say Young Bucks on the back. It should have been a YB and their logo or something. I just don't like Young Bucks on the back. Like,
I like them. They look soft.
Yeah, all right, whatever. But then going back, they super kick Darby right in the nose and everything that he did there. And then he's just hanging there for a while, and they're doing the things. Bryan Danielson comes back in and hits. And then what I thought
chair, with that whatever that chair happened, it had like electrical shock or something. It sparked up and everything.
Oh, the chair, that's a Japanese thing. The blow up, the chair that blows up, like exploding chair, I think they call it.
That was cool.
Yeah. And then I thought this was the moment in the match. And again, we can talk about it more tomorrow. But when Bryan Danielson reaches out to grab Darby and Jack Perry hits him with his finisher and pins Bryan Danielson, do you know what the first thing that came to my mind was?
Bryan Danielson once again trying to elevate another wrestler?
I didn't think it that way, but yeah, but ultimately, yeah, I said that's Swerve's next opponent.
Jack Perry?
Yep.
I don't know.
Because remember, Swerve was having the issue with the Elite. Because the Elite is the one that handpicked his opponent. So I thought about this and I said, okay, they handpicked Christian. He didn't get the job done. I think back to, okay, when you're in a, I think back to old wrestling territories. If you bring somebody in and they don't get the job done, what do? You go to your blood. You go to somebody that's inside your organization. Okada's already got a title. I think Jack Perry will be that one, and it'll be more of the Elite against Swerve, but it'll build up to, to be another stepping stone, I believe, for Swerve. I'm not saying Jack Perry gets the title. I'm saying they set it up to me to be like, okay, he just beat Bryan Danielson. Now he can take that step to where they can screw Swerve, or you think they're going to screw Swerve, but ultimately Swerve figures out. And then also you still have the Tony Khan aspect. That wasn't taken away. And then Kenny Omega returning. So now you have Swerve, Kenny Omega, and you're starting to build another team AEW is what I'm saying.
I like the idea. The only issue is I think the next pay-per-view is Forbidden Door. So I think they would probably like to set up.
Oh, you know what? You're right, though, because they're doing a battle royal Wednesday night. The winner, I believe, of the casino, Forbidden Door casino battle royal gets the title shot. So ultimately, maybe he's not maybe he's the next AEW contender for the title. But at Forbidden Door, of course, they always
I think it'll be somebody from New Japan.
Yeah. Okay, and that'll give them actually more time to build up Jack Perry. But I think what that to me, I saw a little nugget there to say, okay, Jack Perry gets the pin so that it elevates him to become more
a
contender in eyes of the fans. You know what I'm saying? Like,
add him to the Owen Hart tournament, because remember, the winner from there will face Swerve if Swerve is still a champ at All In when they do it in the Wembley Stadium. So it would make sense. And I think it'll be a really good opponent for Swerve.
And then you can still make him Weasley by, again, he's part of the Elite.
Yeah, so I like this Jack Perry.
They can squeeze him through. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can still be like, to me, I don't think they need to give up. It should be Tony Khan against the Bucks in the backstage area. Little time. Not saying the whole show, but there should be times where Tony Khan makes a decision, the Young Bucks override it. Or the Young Bucks make a decision and Tony Khan overrides it. Like little things like that to keep that going.
Well, they kind of,
when you go to Forbidden Door, usually AEW storylines kind of take a back seat a little bit. I think you can keep that alive by doing that, and with Swerve, because again, Swerve's going to be taking on, which my understanding, if everything is right, again, it might be Tanahashi again. I think it'll be his third time going for the AEW World Title at Forbidden Door.
The reason I say they kind of did is because after the media scrum, Tony Khan was with is it Tanahashi? He's
He's actually the owner, or he's running the president of New Japan also.
Yeah, so he was with Tony Khan during the media scrum, and Tony Khan was like, "I'm glad you're here with me because then you could protect me from anybody coming and trying to knock me out." So,
yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, I just think they need to look. I get the scrums are kind of like this and that, but I still think you got to put that little sense of things could happen there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get it. Most of the time, it's just about what the performers say there. But I still think, I think AEW, I hopefully learned from the Brawl Out incident and then also the Brawl In incident. Use some of that to your advantage, man. You're getting publicity from it regardless.
Yeah.
Use it. Good or bad. Use that shit. Because to be honest, I think if they would have done it before, we're talking differently because I don't think CM Punk has left.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I thought of Double or Nothing. Frankie, let them know where they can reach you.
Hey man, Frankie Frezko YouTube channel, and then in all social medias, Frezko Music. You could see it right there. All this, so
you're good right there, man. Good job right there. Oh, nailed it.
There you go.
Nailed it. This guy's good. Just got Young Buck shoes. That's why he's good.
I did. Good. I'll rock them next as soon as I get them.
There we go. There we go. Put thumbtacks on the bottom of them too. All right.
And you want me to do a super kick on you as well?
Oh yeah, buddy. I'll let super kick me right in the face. Yes. I'll be there for it. Trust me.
I like it. I'll either super kick. I'll super kick Big O.
There you go. There we go.
You know why I said that. You know why I said that.
Oh, are you still mad at the Tua situation?
I'm not mad. I had to respond, sir. That's all I gotta say.
He is Frankie Frezko. I'm Sean Stanley. You can follow me at Sean_Stanley11, XIG Threads, and you can follow me, Stanley Media House Network, on Facebook and YouTube. And man, I'll tell you this: if you didn't like AEW Double or Nothing, you're wrong, man. You're wrong. I don't care. You're a true WWE lover or anything else. If you did not find something to enjoy in that pay-per-view, shame on you.
I got my money's worth.
Yep. For Frankie Frezko, I'm Sean Stanley. Square Circle Digest. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. live stream on the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel, and also on the Frankie Frezko YouTube channel on X, Sean_Stanley11, 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Don't miss it. Be there.